For the last 10 days, or more like 8 days, I've been making a build, and I think I've made decent progress. But right now I'm in a conundrum. I am stuck and I need help. I have made this build. I would like to say on my own, but I have had help. This build did not look this decent at first. It was about 10 times worse. I remember when I made this build the first time, I had this. I made a rectangle here, and then I posted it on Discord, and somebody in the Discord was like, "Yeah, buddy boy, this is not ideal. Yeah, you need to change this." At no point in no build whatsoever should you ever make a rectangle. uh, so I've had help. I've had help. I will get into the whole progress of how I came up with this build some other point in future. But for now, this is the build. I will share the link in the comments so you can thoroughly check it out. And if you want me to change something, you can hop on my Discord. I think I have found my love in Path of Exile. I think I enjoy making builds. I am actually impressed how well this works. At first, I was like, this is not gonna work. This is probably gonna suck. But once you start putting your mind into it, and once you start sort of figuring things out, you know. So in short, okay. All right, I am going on tangents. First step, let me show you what the build is about. The whole build is based on this skill, Viper Strike of Mamba. You get Viper Strike when the game begins. Difference between Viper Strike and Viper Strike of Mamba is you can apply multiple poison damage over time, or like multiple poison debuffs on an enemy. Whereas Viper Strike only works one, like you can have only one poison per enemy. But the great thing with Viper Strike of Mamba is it does more damage. As you can see, 240% more poison. So everything in this build is sort of built around this. The second thing that I have is Plague Bearer, which basically takes away 20% of your poison damage and starts accumulating it. And once you reach the maximum value, you stop losing 20% damage, and you build this Plague Bearer, which when you activate it sort of creates a thing around you where it starts to melt all the enemies, which is great. I absolutely love it. It helps you clear up big groups of mobs so quickly. Now I have Malevolence and Precision, which basically gives me more critical strike chance and also gives me more damage over time. Now the main sort of modifiers, or the main aspect this build is around, is called Perfect Agony. In this skill tree you have many nodes, right? You have many damage over time modifiers, and you have many critical strike chance modifiers. So you have two options here. Either you can put some points in damage over time multiplier, some points in critical strike multiplier, and then you can do damage that way. Or you can go ahead and select this point, which basically neglects whatever changes or buffs, the debuffs you get on damage over time multiplier, and just straight up makes it equal to critical strike chance multiplier. So now what you can do is you can just focus simply on critical strike multiplier. Put all the points in critical strike multiplier, and damage over time multiplier will by default get equal to that. Now, there is one problem. You basically don't do any critical damage, and in order to poison the enemies, you will have to do critical strike. If you don't do critical strike, the poison will not be applied, which leads to a second problem, or probably the first problem, is that you want to do critical strike 100% of the time. If not 100, at least 90 to 95% of the time, so that you can apply poison to the enemy. So this build is basically built around critical strike chance, critical strike multiplier, physical damage, because physical damage 60% is converted into poison. So the bigger the physical pool, the bigger the poison pool, right? Chaos damage, maximum life, because this is a melee build, so you want to have at least some sort of tankiness. And if you go to the skill section, that's what you will see. You have your main skill, 60% physical damage converted to chaos, right? You get more. This gives me more critical strike multiplier. Again, more dot. This gives me more physical damage because so it increases the physical pool. So by default, the chaos pool also increases, stuff like that. I still don't quite 100% understand what Night Blade does, but I'm guessing it's sort of whenever this happens, you get more critical strike multiplier. At least that's what I think. You get more chaos damage with this, so that's great. And then melee splash. I tried to not use melee splash. I tried to come up with all sorts of skills, but at the end of the day, melee splash is. This build did not work for me without the melee splash because I would just simply get fucking hoarded by all the mobs. I would be killing like two mobs per second and then I would just get overwhelmed and die. Maybe later in the game when I become more tanky, I have better gear, Maybe then I won't need it, but for now, 1000% I need melee splash. So now that you understand what the build is, let me show you the problem I have. I don't know what I'm doing with gear. I have no idea what I'm doing with gear. So I'm not going to tell you what gear I chose. Instead, I'm going to tell you why I chose them. So I'm trying to grab as much critical strike chance possible. So I can do poison damage consistently. Wherever I can get it, I am trying to grab it. And whenever I don't get it, I am going for critical strike modifiers, more physical damage. With the rings and amulets, I'm going for, resistances. Also, I am using buffs. And all these buffs, they have mana reservations. So the mana pool becomes short whenever I activate them. Meaning, I have to use this on the skill tree. Mana reservation efficiency. So I have that so I can get more mana. Although I'm not struggling anymore with the mana. I'm not. And I think I'm pretty close to actually getting rid of mana flask. Which leads me to the second problem I have. Is I have no idea what flask I should use. So ignore this. As in, ignore this. This is not part of the build. It's just a placeholder. I might as well just do this, right? Might as well just do that. Same with jewels. No idea what jewels I should rock. So I will do none on that. So this is my problem right now. Flask and jewels. I think I will ignore the jewels for now. Because I'm still at like what, level 65, which is I'm still in Act 8, which means I am nowhere near getting good jewels for the passive or for my belt or anything like that. So let's ignore that for now and focus on this flask. So now that you know what the skill tree looks like, let me actually play the game and show you how it sort of works, Alright, this is the build. Boom, boom. Blow da ba dee da ba da ba dee da ba da ba dee da ba da. This is how it works. You basically walk around. You see a bunch of mobs. You go there. You wipe a strike. Boom. Boom. And melee strike does most of the cool stuff. Boom. Melee splash does so much parrying. Boom. What the fuck? Why are you guys coming one by one, huh? I don't know what the fuck that ball does. I know what balls do. Don't know what that particular ball does. So this is the basic thing. You basically walk up to the enemies. Boom. Where are you at? Oh, I already tapped that. So he boom. That's what you do most of the time. Now if you look closely right below my mana, you see that number. That's how much plague I am holding, right? That's the number of viruses that I have on my body right now. And I can just use this. And with one single hit, I have released all the viruses. The herpes. The fact it's green kind of helps you imagine. Now that I have my herpes back, I can just do that. Everybody gets an STD. Everybody, you get an STD. He gets an STD. Everybody gets an STD. Alright, I'm running out of STDs. So it's time to build up more. That's basically the complete build. I have a few movement skills on me. For example, no wait, that's fucking fun. I'm retarded. So I have this. Boom. 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 This is whirling blades for basically movements, getting out. I have one more that helps me get past the obstacles. Right? Boom. I have that. Yeah. What else? What else do I have? Boom. Boom. I have a wild charge. No, not a wild charge. I have ambush, which helps me close distance with the mobs. It's a very movement heavy build. Not movement heavy, but like I can get so much movement. Oh man, it's so satisfying. It's so fucking satisfying. And this is what ambush does. Basically, it closes the distance between you and the mobs. Bitch, what the fuck? You think I'm fucking playing around here, motherfuckers? Stop shooting with your balls. Well, yeah. Boom. And that's pretty much it. So this is the complete build. It's the entire build. I just release plague, I zoom across the map, I wild charge, and that's pretty much the fucking entire build. That's all there is to it. Probably not the best map to show you my skills because it's so dark in here. You know? Oh, before I go, let me also show you my stats at the moment. I have pretty decent resistances, although they will dip right after I kill Kitava, so yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it too much unless I do the campaign. Then I'm gonna see where the resistances are. Also, I don't know how to read those stats because the stats that are told to you in this passive skill tree are not visible here, which I don't know what that means. If I would have one suggestion for grinding gears, they should just make the ability to read your stats easier. Maybe I should go into a map to see how my stats are. So it still says 50% plus 50%. Don't know what that means. I don't know how I'm supposed to read that. Please help me. Help me.